on me and what I got going on. That's where I'm at right now, because I'm like, time shows improve, honey. Time shows improve.
At 48 years old, Kandi Burruss is proving once again that she's not afraid to shake the table and speak her truth. Known for keeping it real and never biting her tongue, Kandi just exposed Martell Holt in a way that has the internet in flames. Fans are saying this might be the final nail in Martell's already crumbling reputation, and the drama only gets deeper from here. When Kandi speaks, people listen. And this time, she didn't just throw shade, she peeled back the curtain on the lies, the manipulation, and the games Martell has been playing both on screen and behind closed doors. The question now is simple: can Martell survive this storm, or has Kandi officially pulled the mask off for good? To really understand why Kandi's words hit so hard, you have to look at her journey. Kandi isn't just another reality TV star stirring up drama for the cameras.
RHOA is dating Martell Holt.
I don't want her to be in a situation where it feels like, where she's being used for publicity. Earlier this year, and I gotta be honest, a family friend of mine who was on another reality show hit me up to go out on a date with him at Blaze and was like, oh, could you have another table open for us, because we're gonna have somebody taking our pictures and videos so that they can post it and like this was something they had. And I was like, okay. But no blog really posted, only like one place posted it. But my whole point was, now that I see this similar situation, I'm like, is he doing this, or like, is he being genuine, or is he doing the same thing?
She's a Grammy-winning songwriter, a business mogul, a mother, and one of the most respected women in the entertainment industry. Her career started decades ago with the R&B group Escape, where she gave us timeless hits. But she didn't stop there. She went on to write songs that shaped an era, classics for Destiny's Child, TLC, Mariah Carey, and more. Her pen built legacies. And beyond music, Kandi built empires, restaurants, product lines, acting roles, and of course, her long-standing presence on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Over the years, fans have come to see her as more than a cast member. She's the voice of reason, the one who calls things out when no one else will. That's why, when she exposes someone, it hits differently. It's not gossip, it's truth spoken by someone who's earned her stripes. On the other side of this story, you have Martell Holt, a man whose name is practically synonymous with controversy.
Heard about Martell.
Girl, them streets. You know me.
Streets been talking to you too?
Yes.
Streets said he been kicking it with some chicks in Atlanta.
I heard that too.
No.
Are you coming in town and dipping around? I mean, it's a little awkward because he did lightweight try to talk to me.
What?
Yes.
No.
Reaching out via Instagram.
He slid up in your DMs.
Martell rose to fame on OWN's hit show Love and Marriage, Huntsville. At first, he was painted as the charming, ambitious businessman, a family man with a bright future. But it didn't take long for cracks to show. His marriage to Melody Sherry became one of the most explosive storylines in reality TV, and not for good reasons. Martell's infidelity wasn't just a rumor, it was a fact. His affair with a longtime mistress destroyed his marriage and played out in front of millions. Viewers watched as his lies unraveled, as Melody tried to hold her family together, and as Martell struggled to face the consequences of his choices. Instead of accountability, fans often saw deflection, blame, and manipulation. Martell became the face of what happens when charm turns into deceit, and when ambition gets drowned out by ego.
Kandi Burruss has some inside tea. I think Martell Holt was trying to be seen out on a date with another reality TV star. I think it's some lady from a show called Behind the Pole or something like that. Maybe she's a stripper, I don't know. He wanted to be seen at the Blaze Steak and Seafood in Cascade, Georgia, Atlanta, because I guess he wanted to get his picture taken so that the blogs will pick it up so that he can get some attention. You guys go ahead and check out this clip.
She's being used for publicity. Family friend of mine who is on another reality show, hit me up to go out on a date with him at Blaze and was like, oh, could you have another table open for us because we're gonna have somebody taking our pictures and videos so that they can post it and da-da-da-da. Now that I see this similar situation, I'm like,
Now fast forward to today, where Martell is trying to rebuild his image. He's been linked to new relationships, including his headline-making connection with Real Housewives of Atlanta star Sheer Whitfield. He's tried to show a different side of himself: businessman, father, partner. But for many fans, the scars from his past are too deep to ignore. And when someone like Kandi Burruss steps in to call out his behavior, people pay attention. Because Kandi doesn't just speak out of pettiness, she speaks from experience, from wisdom, and from her instinct to protect the people around her. What nobody expected was just how raw Kandi's recent words about Martell would be. She didn't sugarcoat. She didn't dance around the issue. She called out the lies, the patterns, and the games. She warned her friend Sheer, and in doing so, she also held Martell up to the light in front of the entire world. This wasn't just a clapback, it was an unmasking. And it's left fans wondering, how much longer can Martell run from the truth? But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Kandi's recent comments about Martell weren't casual side chatter or playful shade, they were serious, cutting, and backed by real concern. It all started when Kandi was asked about Sheer Whitfield's new romance with Martell. Fans already knew Sheer has a reputation for diving into headline-making relationships, but this time, it wasn't just about her choices, it was about the man she chose. And Kandi made it clear that she wasn't impressed. In her straightforward way, Kandi warned that Martell might not be everything he pretends to be. She suggested that his intentions could be more about clout than genuine connection. And when you think about it, the timing is suspicious. Sheer has been on Real Housewives of Atlanta for years, cementing herself as one of the OGs of the franchise. Martell, on the other hand, comes from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, a popular show, yes, but not on the same cultural level as RHOA. By attaching himself to Sheer, Martell suddenly had access to a new platform, new press, and a whole new fanbase. For Kandi, the dots were too easy to connect. She questioned whether Martell's romance was truly about love, or if it was a calculated move to stay relevant. And she didn't stop there. Kandi went even further, pointing out Martell's history, his lies, his cheating, his inability to take accountability. She reminded the world that this wasn't ancient history. These were fresh wounds, still open, still raw. Martell had only recently finalized his divorce from Melody Sherry, and the fallout was still playing out on national television. Kandi asked the same question fans were already whispering: how could a man with that kind of baggage possibly be ready for a real, honest relationship? What nobody expected was Martell's reaction. Instead of laying low or brushing it off, Martell fired back. On social media, he called Kandi's comments unfair, claiming people only focus on his mistakes but ignore his progress. He painted himself as a man on a journey of growth, someone who was trying to move forward despite the weight of public judgment. But here's the problem: Martell's words didn't match his actions. Fans were quick to point out that while he talked about accountability, he rarely demonstrated it. Instead of directly owning up to the damage he caused his family, he often shifted the conversation to the pressures of fame, the negativity of the public, or the judgment of others. That's exactly why Kandi's words hit so hard. She wasn't just talking about Martell's past, she was calling out his present behavior, his refusal to fully accept responsibility. And in doing so, she exposed a pattern: Martell says the right things, but when the moment comes to act, he falls back into excuses. The internet lit up. Fans split into two camps. On one side were those who applauded Kandi for saying what needed to be said. They praised her for being the voice of reason, for warning Sheer, and for reminding viewers that accountability matters more than charm. Tweets, Instagram posts, and TikTok videos poured in, many echoing the same thought: Kandi wasn't being messy, she was being protective. On the other side, Martell had his defenders, people who argued that everyone makes mistakes and that Kandi was being too harsh. They claimed Martell deserved a chance to grow without being constantly dragged back to his past. But the debate didn't stay between fans. other cast members and reality TV figures began weighing in, adding fuel to the fire. Some backed Kandi, saying they too had doubts about Martell's motives. Others tried to give Martell the benefit of the doubt, suggesting that maybe Kandi's delivery overshadowed her message. Yet through all of this, one thing became clear: Martell's reputation was once again under the microscope, and this time, it wasn't Melody calling him out, it was Kandi, a woman with her own powerful platform and influence. And let's be real, Kandi Burruss isn't known for throwing out accusations without reason. She's been in this business too long to waste her words. When she said Martell's behavior raised red flags, she meant it. And when she told the world that Scheer deserved better than a man with a track record of lies, it wasn't just shade, it was a warning, both to Scheer and to Martell himself. The fallout was immediate. Martell's image, which he had been working so hard to repair, took another hit. Instead of being seen as a man moving on from his mistakes, he was once again framed as the man who can't be trusted. And with Kandi leading the charge, it became nearly impossible for Martell to rewrite the narrative. Because if there's one thing reality TV fans know, it's this: once Kandi Burruss calls you out, the receipts will follow. The emotional impact of this feud stretched far beyond reality TV gossip. For Scheer Whitfield, Kandi's words landed like a warning shot. Scheer has built her brand on being independent, stylish, and unbothered, but even the strongest woman doesn't want to be blindsided by betrayal. Fans worried that if Martell's history repeated itself, Scheer would be the one left embarrassed and heartbroken on national television. The image of a woman putting her trust in someone, only to discover lies, resonated deeply with viewers who have been through similar situations in their own lives. It wasn't just about celebrity drama anymore, it was about the universal pain of being deceived by someone you believed in. For Martell, the emotional impact was another layer of exposure he didn't want. He has been trying to move past his mistakes, but Kandi's words pulled him right back into the spotlight of accountability. The emotional toll of being publicly called out by someone as respected as Kandi Burruss can't be underestimated. It was as if she took the feelings of Melody, the concerns of Scheer, and the doubts of the fans, and put them all into one sharp critique. Martell was forced to face a truth he couldn't control, and the weight of that truth hit harder because it wasn't coming from an ex-wife or a random critic, it was coming from a peer with nothing to gain from tearing him down. For the audience, this drama was a mirror. Many viewers saw their own stories reflected in Kandi's words: relationships where charm covered up deception, moments when lies unraveled, and the pain of realizing someone wasn't who they claimed to be. That emotional connection is what made Kandi's comments go viral. She wasn't just talking about Martell, she was speaking to anyone who's ever been lied to, manipulated, or let down by someone they trusted. And perhaps the biggest impact of all was on Kandi herself. Once again, she proved why fans respect her. She showed that speaking the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is sometimes the only way to protect the people you care about. She didn't let fear of backlash silence her. Instead, she stood firm, reminding everyone why her voice matters so much in reality TV and beyond. At the end of the day, this clash between Kandi Burruss and Martell Holt is more than just another messy moment on social media. It's a lesson about honesty, accountability, and the power of truth. Kandi's words stripped away the polished image Martell tried to present and forced fans to look at the reality of who he is and what he's done. Whether Martell will ever fully own his mistakes is still unclear, but one thing is certain: Kandi has set the tone. She reminded the world that lies may hide for a while, but the truth always finds its way to the surface. And maybe that's why fans can't stop talking about this moment. It wasn't just drama, it was revelation. It was a reality check for Martell, a warning for Scheer, and a wake-up call for anyone watching who has ever ignored the red flags. Because in the end, no matter how charming, no matter how convincing, lies will always crumble under the weight of the truth. And thanks to Kandi Burruss, Martell Holt's lies have never been more exposed.